Hey there. So I'm making an app for conducting financial research. Uh, the goal is to help the user make better decisions before they put their precious money in the financial markets. And I have built a sort of a toy, or a sort of a demo for this week, and I would like to show it to you guys. So right in front of me is my browser window. I'm running this app on localhost, and you can see the landing page. Very cheesy, not so fancy, but it works. And I have just built it for a placeholder right now. The actual app is behind the login screen, and that's what I'll show you now. I'll click on sign in, enter my credentials, and click on sign in again, and I'll open the console. And over here we are met with two different like we are met with multiple options, and there's a navigation menu on the left hand side, and some placeholder content over here right now. And so I'll just open this thing called workspace to showcase what I'm trying to build. So the idea over here is to build a sort of a notebook UI. So those who are familiar with Jupyter notebooks would understand what a notebook UI is. And my idea is to merge something of a UI similar to Jupyter with a chat UI. And I'm still brainstorming over how the UI will look like, but this is what I have so far come up with. And over here we can see there's an empty pane which just screams notebook pane. The idea is to put the research that the user is conducting, any content. It could be images, it could be charts, it could be tabular data, it can be handwritten notes, handwritten as in typed notes that the user wants, maybe markdown, maybe not, which the user can collect over here in this simple pane over there. And there would be options to rearrange and lay out all the data that they have collected. And on the right hand side is a pane where the AI assistant will go. So right now I have some hard-coded chat messages between me and this so-called AI. And the idea is that the user will ask questions to the AI, which would then fetch all the information that the user wants from the internet, or kind of run algorithms on the data, whatever. And the idea is that once the AI responds, the user will have an option to move the interesting response from the AI pane, from the chat panel to the notebook panel, and conduct further actions, like take further actions on the data. Let's say over here I have a message over here which basically, so I asked the AI for the latest quotes for Apple, and this is what the assistant pulled up. This is all hard coded right now, but I mean, let's assume that the assistant is working and it pulled this data up. And maybe I'll get an option over here somewhere where it would basically allow me to convert this whole piece of information into a tabular format, maybe markdown tables, maybe convert it all into a CSV. And from there on, I can just push it from this part of the application to this notebook UI, and then I can carry out all my research and analysis on top of the tabular data. So that's the idea over here. It's not that I haven't really worked on the AI part. I'll just showcase the AI part after showing one more feature. So talking about the tabular data and about the charts and everything, I have an application. I have a component, a piece of the application that I've built over here, wherein I can drag and drop a CSV file, or maybe even select a CSV file. So right now I'm just selecting a random CSV. It's not random, it is data about the financial market. But let's say I'm just gonna pick CERN. I think it's for Cerner Healthcare. So I'll just pick this particular CSV which holds data, historical data for Cerner's stock. And if I click open, what will happen is it will load up the data into a neat table, and the user will be able to preview all the data over here, have a look at it, what's going on with the stock throughout the dates on the which are there in the date column. So right now it's a CSV that I have downloaded on my machine, but later on it could be connected to any sort of data sources, could be connected to some stock market API, whatnot. That's there'll be tons of options in the future. So I can click over here, set a primary attribute on the data. It's something like a primary key. Those are from the software engineering or database background would understand that. So I'll make my dates as the primary key or the primary attribute. I'll just select the types of data that I have over here. Usually most of them are floats. It's kind of slow, but it's just a toy, so I'll try to improve it, of course. Um, and selecting these data types is currently not doing much over here. It's just selection of the data types so that in the future when I proceed for charting, I'll have a better idea of what sort of data I'm getting. So it will be helpful for charting. So yeah, I have sorted it up. It's in ascending order, and all the data types are set, and the primary key is set, and I'll move on to configure charts. And over here I'll get an empty chart over here. I can select the type of chart that I want to generate or create, and let's assume I mean none of these work other than the area chart, so I'll just select the area chart for now. And on the x-axis I want the dates, and on the y-axis I want the adjusted closing price of the stock. And let's see if the dark reader extension is interfering. Nope, it's not. Well, I'll just go ahead and select a beautiful color for this chart. I think something of a blue would be nice, looks sexy. All right, so yeah, I can see there's a really pretty chart over here in front of me, and I can analyze the chart, try to find some information from it, try to understand the pattern that the stock went through and whatnot. So this is the idea. It's a beautiful UI, and if I click on preview, there's nothing over there. So I'll just go back, and the chart is gone. It's not working correctly yet. It should not go away, but yeah, this is the idea. And there's one more tab or menu option over here called markets, where I'm just trying to build a place where all the market information, all the tickers, and all the latest prices codes are shown. But so far I'm just have just been able to build this status indicator for all the different stock markets or the financial markets in the world, and it's currently not showing live data. Alpha Vantage is the data source, and it's an expensive API, so I just kept it. I've just used some mock data for this thing. The mock data is of course from Alpha Vantage, but yeah, this is what it will look like, the global market status panel. And that's about the UI. And I'll just move ahead into showcasing what the actual AI would look like. And let's say, so I have this neat little tool that I have built, and it's called, I mean, it's not called anything, but yeah, it's a CLI based chat application where I'll be able to chat with some financial data. And in this case, I'll just open my VS Code and showcase what I mean. I think it's this one. Yeah. So the idea over here is to help the user get information from very long financial documents. And one such example of a very long financial document would be the red herring prospectus document. Usually red herring prospectus documents are published by a company before their IPO, and it contains a lot of information about the company, their growth over the past years, the product that they are selling, the services that they are providing, their the type of growth that they are predicting, the type of growth that they're looking forward, the reason for the IPO, the main promoters of the IPO, and so much more. And it's really good for an investor to have a look at this red herring prospectus before they make a choice into whether or not to invest in the IPO or not. And so I'm from India, and over here we had a recent IPO from a company called Idea Forge, and I just have this red herring prospectus document downloaded from the Securities and Exchange Board of India. It's a very long document, 459 pages long, so quite long, and it would be difficult for a person to analyze the whole of it. Would be time consuming. So the idea is that I have used Llama for fine tuning custom data on top of the Llama models, and uh, the idea is to have a chat where the idea is to be able to chat with the document itself. So here's a couple of scripts that I've written, and it's all very messy and whatnot. But yeah, here's the app, and I have a CLI sort of thing going on for it, and I have already trained it, and this is the CLI how it looks like. So let's assume, so just as a heads up, Idea Forge is a company which is dealing into drones. They have a thing going on called drones as a service. So they provide drones for the defense industry, for public announcements, and for various different purposes. Not really sure of that, but yeah, that's the industry that they are in. So I'll just enter my name, and well, I get this little window. I'll just, yeah. So well, yeah, I can enter something like, hi, what can you do? It will take a couple of seconds, and all right, it's not working. All right, yep. So it says our company provides hardware, software, and solutions for drones, as well as maintenance services, customer support, and logistics support. We also provide corporate social responsibility activities and have a corporate and social responsibility committee. All right, so they are about drones. Uh, what sectors do you serve? I'm assuming something along the lines of defense. Yep. So surveillance, defense, mapping, and surveying. That's what they are saying. And let's say, how has the company grown over the past several years? And it says the company has grown at a CAGR of 131 point blah 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 in terms of revenue from operations over the last 3 fiscals. This is really good information. So yeah, so this is how the AI chat would look like. You can talk with a document, you can talk with a CSV or a PDF or whatnot. In our case, it was a PDF, and yeah. So the idea is to merge these 3 components: the chat notebook UI, the actual AI chat which I just showed, currently in the CLI form, but in the future it should be accessible through this UI, and to merge this tabular and charting component with the whole AI. So it should be the AI should be able to generate charts. The AI should be able to create tables and show it to me, and that's the plan. That's the actual idea. All right. Thank you so much for having me, and please provide feedback if you like this idea. I would love it. And if you find it interesting, if you think you can be a potential user, please connect with me. I would like to hear your feedback.